When it's exactly 8 days since I lost my cousin, and she was just in her 40s, and that gives you this wake-up call: watch your health, do this, do that. You're much more conscious, you're much more grateful, you're much more thankful for every single day that you live, every day, every breath that you get to take. When your body tells you on one corner, you're like concerned, you want to know why, you want to know what's up. It's just been a good month. Let's just put it like that. Speaking the things that be not as if they were. But of course, we must be grateful to God who has kept us, alive, who has provided for us, who has kept our families together. The Lord who has also kept MITV. We must give him all the praise. And we must thank him for those who travel and come back. Because Yinkakenny did travel. And when she told me where she was going, I said, hey! My heart was like this.
Telling you.
The place she's going to, me, as in moi, it not happen. If not for what happened last week, I've told you that I've divorced that part of my state. But when you told me you are going to, I just say, okay, just go. I shall know that you'll be fine. That's all I know.
I'm telling you.
So, seeing you this morning, I am in Jale, no. When you did not call me, that you are back. How was your trip, Yinkakenny?
To God be the glory. Let's just give God all the glory. Thank God. Good morning, everyone watching us out there. Good to be back in Lagos. You see, the funniest part of the story is that I actually went to Ekiti State, and
we not send you message.
No, let me say, because
I'm by yourself.
No. You see. I told you that traveling. Naturally, I really do not love traveling. Even my friend's doctor was asking me. He said, "Oh, you're going for a job, and something you have is work." Everybody just feels that she doesn't travel. She doesn't travel, except in fact, the job must even be worth it.
The while.
But that person, it's just something that I couldn't help but to be there. And we finished on Friday. I was there on Friday. We finished the program, Friday's program, and it was taking us to the hotel. And we were just going. The first, I think he booked 3 hotels, because everybody came all the way from the UK, from the US, from Lagos and Ibadan. So 3, it took hold of 3 hotels. So we were, because we are family, we're more like family. So we're to be at the last hotel. And then when we got into the hotel and we're talking to the security guys, and, we got talking, and he said, and we talked to, that area that they always kidnap. He said it's just about 10 minutes drive away. I said,
like Tyrone, like Tyrone, I don't have
that. Honestly, Tomisi, he was just there in my head. Ekiti, I did not sleep. Honestly. The lady that we slept in the hotel together, she was like, I think would I be a sleep.
Moreover, let me ask you another funny question. Did you change your clothes when you were going to sleep? Did you sleep the way you sleep at home?
No. Normally,
you walk after.
No. Normally, if I'm in the hotel, I don't sleep like I sleep at home. The way I sleep at home.
That's what I'm saying.
Anytime I'm in the hotel, Tori Dagiri now. You see, the funniest thing is that when we're leaving on Saturday morning to go to the venue again, when we got out of the hotel, instead of us to turn right, we turned left. And at one point, we are confused. We got to a point and we're asking somebody, please, this is where we're going. The person said, you're almost at Ilori. I said,
are you kidding me right now?
I'm telling you.
You don't get to stay boundary square state.
What are you saying?
Boundary
square. He said, you're almost at Ilori. I said, Ilori. Hey, this Ekiti. So we now had to turn back, and we got our way through. It was an adventure.
Kidnapper.
It was an adventure.
Did you bother waiting by the side of the road to buy food stuff?
We did that in town because we didn't want to.
So you didn't stop on the expressway?
No, we didn't want to.
You bought in town.
Let me even give you one funny gist. When we were coming, at Tomisi, so at one checkpoint, I'm telling you, this one is even the worst of it all. When we were stopped at the checkpoint, and the policeman said, in fact, it was just God that made him say, it was just God. Honestly, it would have been in Lokoja. I'm telling you.
They went to Kogi State.
We went to Kogi State.
I know that route. I know exactly what can happen to you.
I'm telling you.
If you go through Akure into Ekiti, or if you go through Ilesha into Ekiti, if you go to the farther end of Ekiti, you are like this way, Kwara, this way.
I'm telling you, I'm like, is everybody where how many were we? Were 5 in the car. I was like, Let you go hotel castle.
We just want to go and visit Governor Yaya Bello.
I'm telling you, it was an adventure.
So you were just missing your way anyhow. Honestly. Who drove?
The unfortunate part, I told you I
were going to engage the driver, and the driver did not know way.
The unfortunate part of the story is that I drove all the way back to Lagos.
What happened to the driver?
We realized, fine, when we're going all through, nobody asked for the driver's license, and I took it for granted because usually he takes me out, and I know he has a driver's license and all that, but I did not ask before leaving Lagos. So immediately we stepped out of the venue to move into the express. The road safety woman just asked for the driver's license, and I was expecting more balance now. So I say, are you for real? For real? How can I? And because I have a press sticker on my car, everything, he started talking. We started there and then. The other person that had a driver's license has a phobia for drive. I know somebody I'm familiar with, and I know I won't even take the risk, because to drive to Ibejuleki that I go every now and then is a problem for him. So I had to, with my bad leg, I fell down 2 weeks ago. I drove all the way from Ekiti to Lagos.
You went on an adventure.
When I got back last night, I wanted to say, Tomisi, I said, this girl say,
Did I send you message?
This person that did not come last week did not. I said,
did I send you message?
Let me just push myself. Honestly, it was an adventure.
I'm glad you are back in one piece.
It was an adventure.
We have Olusesan Okunade on the table with us this morning. He's just been laughing and breathing hard and trying to hold in his laughter and all that. Many people are familiar with Olusesan Okunade would know that he's a gentleman. He's a gentleman by excellence. As in, you can practically say that is an example of a gentleman. But this morning, I want him to yab Yinkakenny.
There is no serious yabbing if you refuse to. Yaya Bello is looking for people to.
Oh my God.
The young generation
to join.
And if she's not by missing road, you should pay a visit
to the governor straight up.
And I know the governor of Kwara State too.
He needs
Oh my God.
So if they are calling and you are not responding, something will direct your route.
The Yoruba thing that used to carry people.
Can you imagine?
The other part of it is offer. This one is now pull you on funny.
Can you imagine?
So
Yinkakenny, they could give.
So listen.
So you were the one that drove them
into
all the bushes.
Yeah.
All of them opened their eyes.
It's a lesson. The last part of it that happened, we should always make inquiries.
Because
those people don't
due diligence.
They take things for granted. I've had friends had that experience, and you now ask yourself, because why did you take the driver?
I'm telling you.
So
why did I pay?
You paid him, and on the long run,
it wasn't useful to you.
It was not ususeful to you. So it's good. It's a lesson for everybody. You
I'm
want to do
telling
anything?
you, honestly, that was why I mentioned that part.
Don't ask.
See.
Please, can I have your driver's license if you
confirm that it's not expired?
You
it cost me 10,000 naira penalty one day.
Of course, it's
because
real.
I took the bus. I was going to the market to go load some of my food products, and I said, which driver can drive me? The person who usually drives me is one of my colleagues here, and I couldn't go with him with the bus. So I said, okay, my mechanic now, as in like, the way it is now.
I know.
Like my mechanic should be my go-to. So my mechanic came, picked up the bus and all that, and he drove. When the police stopped us at first, I felt it was because it was a Tokumbo, it had no plate number. So I quickly showed them that our documentation was complete. We're just few days away from getting,
The plate number.
there's an amount of time you can still use the Tokumbo vehicle without. So we were still within that limit and all that. And they said, okay, fine, you can go. And then we got to the next one, just on mile 12. And this one said, where's your driver's license? And I'm like, first of all, police, you're not supposed to ask for driver's license and all that, but, that attracted me. So the guy started smiling. I say smile. Everyone driver's license.
His second name is Smiler.
Honest.
Do you know what they did? They took us straight to the station.
Yes.
Straight to the station. And before we knew what was happening, we were given this penalty because they saw my ID card. They now said,
it's really embarrassing.
And said, oh God, it was crazy.
So, but it's good to.
I didn't pay him. Me, I did not pay.
It's good to make such inquiries anytime you need to travel.
Yes, very true.
And because I don't want to have this idea of mechanics, people you're used to. Do they drive as often as they should? Because those things too matters. More so when you drive on a long journey.
There are even other issues. Like for example, the person who should drive you out of Lagos should be somebody who is familiar with
the terrain of anywhere you're going.
So he drove you to Ekiti and he didn't know the way.
No, I'm sure you trust Yinkakenny now. Trust Yinkakenny. Anywhere she's going,
she uses Google Map.
No, but we actually refused to use Google Map because I thought that the network
would be bad.
Which was,
it would have saved you.
No, which was really, because the thing is, at the point when it goes off, you can be misled because you wouldn't have known that there is no network and you will just be there still going on with it. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So you could still be driving straight while you were supposed to have turned. So when we're going, we were calling, and we're stopping at every village, every junction to ask questions. Once we get to probably somewhere that we have seen it turning, we just stop to ask questions. So we didn't really miss our way. But when we're going,
when
we're coming back, people I told them I'm not good with roads. So, but they felt that they were familiar. They were the one leading me.
And they led you to.
Can you imagine?
You should have just gone to
thank God for Johnny Mercy.
Yeah.
But I would have loved you visited
Dr. Yaya
Bello. And this morning, maybe we'll be talking of.
But I don't understand. She went, she came back, she's not bringing anything.
I think we should just do the due diligence, like A said.
And maybe before you go to the others, Tomisi, like I mentioned to you, while we are on stage.
Yes, you
please,
actually.
I think it's paramount we take good care of our health.
Yes.
Over the weekend, I lost my cousin too. Yours was last week.
Sorry.
I was coming all the way from
Ijebu,
and I got a call that she passed on. Quite disheartening, very young person. I think she's in her 50s too. And we never saw it coming. She's based in Oyo, but they brought her to Lagos that she was just sick temporarily and the next minute. So I think the atmosphere is tensed. People should try as much as possible
to take care of their health, run tests and don't do self-medication. Yeah, try not to. And from time to time, I think we need to detox. That reminds me that I promised myself I was going to detox for the whole of this week. From time to time, we eat a lot of food, and I find out that some of the food items we even eat today are not as healthy as they need to be. Yeah. So the residue, and then we eat badly. We eat carbohydrate, we barely take vegetable. So I think once in a while we need to detox. So people say fasting also helps you to do that. But apart from the fact that fasting helps you to drop the unnecessary weight, if you do some fruits, like Yinkakenny does from time to time, do some cucumber juice, do lettuce, just eat raw salad without cream, do a bit of vegetable, eat it like food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, carrot juice, carrot blended, whatever, watermelon. Base yourself on fruits for a couple of days, or maybe every night, if you do heavy work, you could do every night. By the time you wake up in the morning,
Then
after a couple of days,
exercise. You
very
know,
important.
I've been religiously exercising for some time now, and honestly, apart from the fact that, you know, I was compelled, to do so, it, I can feel it. I can feel, you can feel.
You feel healthier,
honestly. And if I do not do it, like even at Ekiti, where I woke up on Saturday morning and I was like, is there a gym around? Is there? I want to do my exercise. And everybody was like, are you for real? Because I realized that I didn't exercise on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So on Saturday morning, I woke up and I felt I was just not there.
Something was not.
I was just not there. So I think exercising is
also very important.
Yes, it's also very important.
All right, we're taking leave from our discussion this morning to take a look at the stories in the papers and find out exactly what has happened in the last couple of days. And I particularly like the picture story of the Guardian newspaper this morning.
Yes.
But in this case, you see the fertilizer, being displayed by the man in charge of the Africa Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. It was flanked on both sides by the Yemi Adesina, who is the president chief executive of Dangote Industries Limited. Do you know a woman is the president of Dangote Industries Limited? Wow. It's a woman. Her name is Yemi Adesina. And when we talk about this gender thing, we should also talk about tribe.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, see, if the person who heads Dangote Industries as the president, chief executive, is a woman, a Yoruba woman, without affiliation to the North, where do we get this idea from? That is always, the people are even tribalistic when it comes to, these places. But let me just continue so that Eshiso can take that. We have the president of the Africa Development Bank, like I said, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. Of course, the wife of the Africa Development Bank, president. You have Yemi Adesina, then you have the president of executive director of Dangote, that's Aliko Dangote himself, and you have his friend. I like to call him his friend, Chairman Girigu Power PLC, Femi Otedola, displaying fertilizer during the familiarization visit to Dangote oil refinery projects in Lekki. So Dangote is producing fertilizer.
You see, I think one of the byproducts of crude oil is
fertilizer.
Also. And you see, we can't wait for the operation of Dangote refinery. It's a game changer. I looked at the investment; it's massive, and Femi, the friend too, has a big stake in that business. The returns he got from Forte Oil when he sold it off was an investment in place of this. And it's part of what we keep telling the people out there, even at a small cadre. You don't try to say, I want to be CEO of a small company. Learn to collaborate. This collaboration working here, Femi is a big boy on his own. He can venture into this project too.
By himself.
But if my friend is doing this, how can I collaborate with him and see how to make this work? And what we will see in the nearest future is, after the commencement of this project, within the shortest possible time, you see another one coming up.
True, because they can pull funds.
What he has done is he has mitigated his risk. Let's put all the things inside here. Learn from what he is doing now. For every businesses there are ups and downs. Let's learn from it. As soon as we're able to get it operational, then we can venture into a bigger one. And that's what. But you see, everybody, you say, I'm an MD CEO. What's your turnover? 100,000. What's your turnover? 1 million. When you can join your ends, businesses with individual, you have your strength. Like I always tell every individual, if you try to carry out this show alone, definitely there will be deficiency. It will be too monotonous. are complementing you, another person everybody comes with diverse idea, and before it becomes robust. Same is applicable to business, and that's why we're seeing dates come June, as promised by Dangote. If we launch the refinery, you want to relocate. I don't know, maybe that's why Yinka keeps visiting. Possibly they've given her a plot and she's monitoring her building. So that's the next place to be.
Confess your sins when it is time.
I reserve my comment.
So it's a game changer. And with this coming up, collaborating with my very good brother, someone said he looks like me, and I think that I think I love that. Maybe one of these days too, we'll be talking in that capacity. But the truth is, collaboration is good, and when you collaborate, you have ideas.
Okay.
And we can't wait. We can't wait, because that's the whole thing. The whole West Africa. Well, let me say Africa as a whole is waiting for so that we can process. God blessed crude oil
by ourselves,
and we can move to the next level.
All right, let's take this one. Let me just take the banner headline of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Economic stock markets wait on monetary tools as the MPC meets. It has riders like set up price control mechanism or advices. Monetary tools are handicapped, address supply rigidity, says Don. Nation's economy, institutions in free fall, ex-FSB boss laments. Stock market performance hinged on the MPC outcome. This sounds like jargon to our hearing this morning, but we have a finance expert in the studio. He can break it down to the rest of us.
No, nothing so serious. By this afternoon around 1:30, the monetary policy team will be meeting. They do that every quarter to give direction on how our monetary policy and fiscal policy will roll. That's where you have the new interest rates, the MPR rate from for the banks and all those stuff. It's just like a guide, and it's always give direction for businesses.
Okay.
So you know how to borrow, how to lend. They put a cap on some certain things. So it's a period that we all wait for. But plus and minus, most not likely to see any difference in what we have in the last quarter when they had their meeting with what we have here, because the economy on its own is still seriously struggling, and things seems not to be working the way it should for the financial sector, considering so many factors that is mitigating against them. But let's wait till the afternoon when we hear the report
from the MC.
From the team.
All right, we didn't kill Abiola. Abdusalami clarifies Ipman faults NLC's planned protest against subsidy removal. Gunmen kill 4 miners in Plateau. Pay your $3.4 billion fine. Bonga oil spill victims tell Shell. I like the story because we had a conversation with a man from the Niger Delta who was on the show on Friday, Somi Ranta, and he did say particularly, I was interested that he went all the way to Ogoni land, he went all the way to River State. I expected him to come with fish. And I had to ask, where is the fish now? He said, there's no fish. I said, okay, what did you eat all over the holiday? He said, meat and frozen fish. And I'm like, how now? How do you go to River State and all you get to eat is frozen fish, like you're in Lagos? And he said there is no fish.
Even in Lagos, we get to eat. We get to eat fresh fish.
Fresh fish, like the whole of his village, there is no fish in this village.
For real.
And so yes, and this is coming from AFAN, the Artisan Fishermen Association of Nigeria, the Niger Delta chapter. They are victims of the Shell Bonga oil spill of December 2011. And they have demanded immediate payment of $3.4 billion fine from the company, which was imposed on it by the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA. The victims from the 5 states of the Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta, Ondo, Rivers made the demand after a virtual meeting with their lawyers. In the communique signed by their coordinator, Samuel Ayadi, Akwa Ibom State, among others, noted that the fines were upheld by the National Assembly through the House Committee on Environment and the Federal High Court in Lagos. The communique noted that the meeting was held to x-ray their plight over the past years, efforts made in pursuing justice and restitution since the incident of the Shell Bonga oil spill occurred, and the way forward. This is according to, was as a result of operational failure, and an estimated 40,000 barrels of crude oil had been pumped into the waters, the operational fields of the fishermen and women. Now that community is without almost a means of livelihood.
Yeah, it's quite disheartening.
2011 till date.
It's part of the problem that we are faced with. And even the fine, if it's paid, how do we manage some of these things? We've seen instances where some of these oil companies pay fines or charges that are levied against them, and they enter into the wrong ends.
This is even an association.
You know,
are you saying that the association wouldn't be able, since it's an association that covers the Niger Delta states?
Yeah, I feel some of the things we should charge them for is when you pick up this fine, let it be used to fix the things to make that means of livelihood, rather than exchanging funds with individuals and feel that, okay, we've arrived. Because the greedy nature in an average person will not make some of these things. So you see people making those fees, they pay, and no changes. It's still the, it's not everyone that will go for the meeting.
Yes.
There will be some top-notch who we call the representative.
Yeah.
Just the same way we have in the country. We have our representative. Are we getting value for what it is? Everybody runs to everywhere for their personal interest. So I always feel that when we have issues like this, you should challenge them to make sure that they do something with that fine. We are not expecting any money from you, but all those things that you've been able to put to battery, put it back to the right place, and let's continue to have a means of livelihood rather than sharing money to every individual.
So if you're going to make a recommendation to Shell when they want to pay this fine, would you say the payments be made to the government or to the association?
No, I think we should have like an escrow account. Government should not even be involved in this. I don't want to go into that part. Let there be an escrow account between the Shell and the community of to say this and this and this and things we need to do. If you need to carry out, take for example, working in a project.
Crosses 5 states.
Carry out a project, you say, okay, this is the cost. Both parties verify. The association verify, the Shell verify, so that Shell won't come and say, for us to fix this particular thing, it's going to cost us 1 billion. And you discover that it has actually been, padded with what we use. So both parties can reach no, it's not up to 1 billion, since you are the one doing it. It's we find out on our own independently, it's about 500 million. So you are saving more to make sure that we give. I think these are part of the things that we need to do, which is always pretty difficult for average Nigerian. When some of these things comes around, because they understand us, the next thing you see is, who are the people that make noise? Tomisi is a noisemaker. Yinka too. Are these the people that you feel will not look for a way, compromise them? And as soon as they are compromised, they have their few there and say, well, we've paid the fine, we've done the best that we can do, we are not responsible for it again. Years back, you now discover that Tomisi has collected money. That is, even if you see Yinkakenny has collected money, and everybody take their leave. So I feel if you have like a joint escrow account between the Shell and the community, and both of us carry out our due diligence, we can impact. Leadership is a problem that we have in this country, and it cuts across not only the federal government or the state government. Even in association, everybody gets there with an interest of, what do I make? Greedy nature of an average citizen is not taking us anywhere. And that's why you see people will say, no, let's change the leader. The people that is here, I only know you of now. When I make Tomisi maybe the next governor of a state, how much of you will I know? Power intoxicates. We talked about money. But these are things we say, let's have a system. So that even if your person is greedy as an individual,
the system will tell you.
And we will not be talking about you. But situation where we build system around an individual, and all you see is the individual himself. You were showing me something this morning about the personality. Imagine such person have his way into politics and power. People will now build a system around
such a person.
What do you expect? So that's why we say build the system outside an individual, and when an individual with questionable character that's not obvious to us get into the system checkmates it, and we're able to get the dividend of what we want.
Let's look at the Punch.
The Punch this morning, we're talking politics, Electoral Act amendment, bill bars voters from contesting candidate certificates in court. Only co-contestants at primaries can sue on candidate certificates credentials. We've had that over and over and over. That's coming from INEC director. New provision will be challenged. National Assembly can't masquerade those seeking office, says San. Okay, and above the nameplate, we have the police PSC, the Police Service Commission summons IG over police recruitment. Workers set for strike. Did I hear that? Is it the police that are striking or what?
No. It's their labor, no.
Is their labor. Their labor is outside the police. Okay. All right, sacked.
Maybe they'll guess.
NSITF, that's the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund Management, saved 2 billion naira, left 30 billion naira debt, says that Minister of Labour talking here, Chris Ngige. All right, they saved 2 billion naira and they are indebted in the tune of 30 billion naira. That's good. All right, US team CSO witnessed MKO's Abiola's death in Abuja clinic. That's coming from Abdul Salami. He's talking now. I think after so many years, he's trying to put to rest the minds of people, because everybody, every Nigerian, almost, let me not say every Nigerian, almost all the Nigerians are like, they are saying MKO Abiola was poisoned, and he's coming here almost 25 years later, isn't it, if I'm correct? Saying that he actually died of a natural cause. I don't know if that will have an impact on the mindset of
no, but the majority of the people had always said he died of a natural cause. I think the point
I
was
think,
that
no,
they
I
felt
think
the stress that the cause was caused by.
From my own point of view, majority are saying that he was actually poisoned. Yes.
Well, but Yinkakenny, I have a different perspective to what the others. I asked myself. I read the headers this morning. Why are we bringing this to here?
At this time.
Please let this man rest and let him just be. We have enormous problem that the so-called leader have created. Can we address this?
Or maybe because
whether he's going to die a natural death or whatever.
Well, let me
no,
ask
but I think if you ask me, I would say that if there are some issues that we just put under the carpet, and that is why we keep having, other than MKO Abiola's death, we have an attitude of putting things under the carpet. Okay, this has happened, it has gone. But every time we put, let's even take Abiola's death, put it on one side. A lot of things, and that's why we keep having a reoccurrence of a lot of issues. Why can we not nip one issue in the bud and avoid a future occurrence?
It's part of what we are just saying now. This is a distraction by me. So the what you are advocating for now, to say let's nip this. So the current problem is actually going underground that you don't know, and you will start battling this. I was saying that you start talking about somebody will come and say no, Absalam is telling that this is that, and all the problem they use this to distract. Because I've asked myself the question.
Do you not ask yourself the question, why do we dig up issues that are non-issues when we are going near an election? What exactly are we doing?
I don't understand. And you look at it, look at this. What do you expect
What happened to us talking about this when President Muhammadu Buhari was giving him a posthumous honor?
You understand?
In 2020.
Exactly.
What happened? Why didn't we dig up how he died, why he died?
And let's even be emotional intelligent on the part of the family.
All of that.
Some of the family, as at now, you are bringing out a wound that they've actually buried, and you're talking about the matter. They should let this rest. We don't, whether he died a natural death, whether it was poisoned, we are moving on. What we are faced with now, is
It's
for
bigger.
the problem that some of these leaders have created. Let's address it and have a better. What they've given Abiola a
Posthumous honor.
And set out day to honor him. That's enough. We can move on. Don't bring out wounds for the family to start looking at in that area. I think that's a challenge, and the people should be emotionally intelligent, not to cause more harm to other people. People will come out and they will challenge this, and before you know it, we'll move away from the problem we are faced with
Right now, our immediate
and be
issues.
talking about things. With this bringing back to life? The answer is no.
Okay. We also have yam thief shoots farmer owner. Yam thief shoots farmer owner to death in Osun. Suspect arrested. You just hear some strange
A
things.
thief shoots the owner to death.
Yam. As in,
The question you ask yourself is, shoot, where did he get the gun?
go.
It's to tell us
For crying out
how much yam.
loud. He went to steal yam.
How much yam?
You know, I had to go back to say if I actually saw yam.
No, how much yam?
It's so
Yeah,
sad.
but you heard about the news
It's so
around
sad.
your side in Nogba
It's so sad.
of one guy that killed, that beat or tortured a guy that stole 1,000 to death. I read that too this morning. And you see the level at
it's in the
which-
paper.
It's in the papers.
It's
too, so-
here. Okay, let's go on. FRSC plans radar guns at 300 killed in 2021 Ogun crashes. All right, Sean's sexual engagement. Elizabeth can't harbor pregnant students. That's coming from, when I heard this news this morning, I'm like, excuse me? The VC is saying that they cannot harbor pregnant students. Why?
Why not?
What do you mean? We have married
That's an
people.
area I want to go.
We have married people in the
People
higher
should stand up to
institution.
that. It's not only for the young ones. Except it's putting to say for his institution, he's
No.
pegging the age of saying
Even
that
if it's
you're-
pegging the
Even if it's pregnant,
No, let me say.
it depends on where the young
at
lady is
18,
from.
at
No.
18, I can get married.
No, the factor is you put, when you enter the banking sector, there are some caveats they put into
Yes.
So you can say for Elizabeth, we engage you at so day. We don't want married people. You don't get married. So you put out your rules.
And it
So
must
how do
be
you-
in
how-
the lay down rules before the people
before
even
the people
apply.
apply. So you know those things. So how do you handle a lady who is married?
Excuse
You
me, I
know,
don't know.
and has been
No, let's assume.
expectant.
Let's even assume that she's not married.
No, let me
assume that she got
come
pregnant.
from the
No,
same area.
No, Tomisi, I understand where it's
Let
coming
me come from the same
Let's
same
even
area.
say that, okay, she's
She's
married.
married.
She's
At
entitled
age-
to get pregnant.
Yeah.
In quotes, now let me say.
It's not even in court. You are entitled
No,
to that.
in quotes, because if she's unmarried, you say she's not entitled from where we are coming from.
So are you then saying that because she is not married, she got pregnant, she should go abort the baby? Isn't that what this is?
Even when Tommy say even when she is married,
Even when she's married, the man is not
pregnant,
saying it's not going to end.
she's pregnant,
So
she shouldn't be in school.
She could now say she's going to take a leave of absence, deliver her baby, and then come
Those
back
are
to school.
those are.
But you see, this is the
you
issue.
shouldn't.
It's causing two issues. That's why I'm trying to draw your attention to.
Okay.
The young ladies who are possibly going to get pregnant as a result of what he called sexual engagement are going to now
Sean
look
sexual
at
engagement.
how to get rid of the pregnancy, which is going to cause more harm.
More harm.
That is one issue.
That's from one
Now,
perspective.
you're also going to now put much more pressure on young women and elder women who are in school, married, waiting, expecting, or pregnant already.
To now say they shouldn't.
To now say they shouldn't.
Well, I don't know the yardstick. You don't.
Is this in the rule book of the school?
Even if it says, where will you be?
Do they have a student handbook?
Freedom. It's
Of
your
pregnancy.
freedom.
You see, it's just unfortunate that in this part of the world, judiciary is not really taking its course. You know, like the picture story here in Punch newspaper is talking about the victory had in the U.S. About the anti-vaccination law. If we have like Sheson said, if we have a system that is working, for crying out loud, there's no debate about this.
True.
We just go to court and we know that in no time we get
resolved.
we get the judgments and everything will be
and
resolved.
part of
A
the
stay of
things I've
execution
seen-
on his rule.
Part of the things I've seen with some of those people, they try to make some utterances for relevance sake.
You
Or
think
based-
this
or
is
based
huge?
on religious
No,
affiliation.
I would
I'm
take
telling
that.
you.
I would. In fact, that was when I heard it, early hours and this morning. I just came from that perspective that
Religious.
I'm sure this man is talking from a religious angle. This is huge. Other than just saying you want
Go out
relevance.
and check their
For me,
immediate
it is
family.
huge.
They claim
honestly.
to be saints, but they are not.
Okay, we have NDLE seizes UK Saudi-bound cocaine in weeks. 6 arrested in Abuja. The extent people go to, and I don't know. Let me just not talk about that. A Lagos businessman tortures apprentice to death over missing 1,000 naira fleas. That was what Sheson was talking about.
And that's the one that shocks me the most. You put your business in an apprentice's hand, he runs it, and then you begin to fight them over 1,000 naira.
Well, when I heard the news this morning, it's quite disheartening. And learned the guy is on the.
No, it's not just. I think it's a fleas of 1,000 naira note. So
No, flee.
okay, fleas away 1,000
They
naira.
actually
After
tortured
beating
him.
the young man to death.
So he's
he's
on
on
the
the
run.
run.
He's
on the
the
run.
now. So you ask yourself the question, and this takes us to how we react to issues. I was listening to one of our friends this morning, giving an instance of what he read on Friday, of a man's story, who said caught the wife, with another man, and all he did was to eat the man with a very bad object, and the man died. And he was sent to 10 years imprisonment. And while he was there, he did not die. He came out after 10 years and discovered that the woman already have 3 children within the space of 10 years. You ask yourself the question.
Was it worth it?
Why did I have to react? There are some things you should walk away from. And that's why we ask individual, learn to manage your anger.
And your emotion.
So that those things will not override your sense of reasoning. Because when the whole thing happens, your eye will not open. Anybody will not say, why don't leave the devil where he is and just do what you need to do. It's something that calls we are all tense these days. I was sharing with a friend when I was coming this morning. Somebody bites me from behind. I look at it, my light did not break. The highest that could happen is that they must have pressed
Your bumper.
But I looked through the mirror and I said, the boss is a space boss, having about 5-6 people in it. I saw that through me. I said, does it worry for me to calm down? What if I calm down
And
these
they
guys
lynch
me,
attack you,
attack and take the vehicle?
because they do it
What happened?
intentionally.
Intentionally.
They do
I
it
just looked
intentionally.
at it, brought
My
out
bumper
my
is the
hand.
way it is now because they did it intentionally.
So you just look at that and you move on. You learn to count your cost and just move on.
And measure if it is worthy of your reaction.
yeah.
Or
Well, a
otherwise.
very good one coming from the Kwara State government this morning. Stop imposing hijab beret on students. Kwara wants principles. We're talking about religion now. So, we should learn to take religion and
I think we should just get to that point in
Out
time
of-
where we just have what we call school uniform.
Abby.
And that's what we used to
If the
you
school
know,
uniform
when-
of your school has a beret, I mean, my school had a beret while I was growing
Yeah,
up.
while I was in
and it was
school
not
too.
compulsory for us to wear it every day. But there are days, specific days, maybe
That
Mondays.
everybody- yeah.
Mondays,
Very true.
everybody needs to wear beret.
Wednesdays.
On Fridays, we need to wear our sportswear with our socks, and we had all those things. But I mean, that's why you have rules.
You see,
And you see, our problem
we're
is our
bringing
leaders. They bring their personal whatever
Yeah.
into it, and they even misled adults like us.
ethnicity.
They misled adults like us. You see, some religious setting will tell you because the leader does not like something, that is what he has received, and everybody must do. The fact that I don't like you putting on wig, somebody will come and metamorphose and say it's from the pit of hell. That's a business for someone making money and paying tithe to you or paying saka to you, as either way around. If you don't believe in something, don't come. And that's why I've said it times with that number. Can you know God yourself and what He wants from you? It's not only the young ones that are actually misleading with some of these things. Even the adults. Somebody just feel this is my own way of doing things and everybody must fall in line. No, it doesn't work that way. Let's have this sense of reasoning in everything we are doing. Does it? If it works for you, it may not work for me. And that's the way we should just look at it.
And last story we'll talk about this morning, just before we begin to round up the show, is Super Eagles yesterday broke our hearts. Should we go there?
Why won't we go there?
Yinkakenny,
Why won't we go there?
just 2 Mondays ago, you were telling us how impressed, how glad, how all that.
No, you know,
I was actually impressed.
I put a caveat. I said to you, we have this attitude of, you know,
Initial grabber.
and when we get it all like, you know, we tend to relax. You know, I said it. We
But
tend
they
to
said-
relax.
But social
did you
media,
watch the match?
but social media is saying somebody.
Watch it. When I came from Ekiti, all tired, I watch it. I had to.
Did you watch the match?
I watch it.
Did you watch all the other matches?
I watch all the
But my
matches. I saw the
son watched, and my son was running commentary when we're coming this morning, and he said to me, "No, mommy, they actually didn't play." I said, because they want you didn't play. So he was saying, "Hey,
What
they
did
did
you
this, they did this, they did this."
The,
I said,
the
because they
fault
won, Abi.
was a technical fault.
So
Truth be
you
told.
think-
So you
Same thing
agree
my
with
son
what
was
JJ
saying.
Okocha says, that poor tactics made them lose their
Those
mind.
guys were. Tunisia is not an underdog in football. They understand the tactics, and I was listening to JJ when he was analyzing, you know, after the match, and he played with Tunisia in 2004, and he understands that they are not someone you could ride over. The beginning of the match was a bit tactical for both parties, were in control until not too impressive. But at a time when they scored a goal at 47th minute, we expect some drastic change. But that's where we lack the technical skill. I was expecting a vibrant, this guy, former captain, who wears number 7, Jesse.
Victor Osimhen?
No,
Who was
not
that?
Osimhen. This Hausa boy.
Ahmed Musa.
Ahmed Musa. You know that guy? You see, even if the guy does not score any goal, he has a way of running on the field and you are running after him. And you allow other people to play their skill. So, but he brought that guy in 3 minutes to the end of the game,
Oh my.
which was quite disheartening.
Oh,
I was
my.
saying immediately he brought in Iwobi got frustrated, got a red card. Iwobi at that time.
So he was even 10 against 11.
Our guys matched up 10 against 11 when Iwobi went out. But I was expecting when